Doing your own product photography can be intimidating. At least it was for me before I started Replica. I had just invented my first product in my free time and I was not a photographer. So I looked for ways to make it as easy and foolproof as possible. Now, I teach those ways to small business owners, content creators, and even Lauren Conrad's audience. These are those ways. Let's take a product photo in 7 easy steps. Hey guys, Mandy here. Recently, I had the opportunity to partner with Lauren Conrad's team to teach your audience my easy formula for product photography using nothing but a couple surfaces, inexpensive props, and your phone. This is that formula. First, select 2 surfaces that complement your product and brand look. These are some of the ones we selected for Lauren's products: rose marble and cement, white brick and herringbone marble, and Luxe Stone, a prior limited release with desert clay. Set them up in an L shape using either Replica stands or the Replica Studio. With stands, you can place your setup on the floor or on a table. With the Studio, you can roll your setup to wherever the light is best. Even if it's a sliver of light in the corner of your bedroom, it can go there. You can also adjust the height to comfortably take eye-level shots from a standing position or lower it all the way down for flat lay. Now, let's style using the easiest yet most effective composition there is. It's called the diagonal, and we used it to create all of the shots I showed you earlier. Start by placing a prop in the back corner, immediately in front of your upright surface. Here, we chose a coconut because it emphasizes the scent of this coconut milk candle. It also has some height to it. Choose props that suit your product, that suit the season, or that simply complement the color palette you're going for. Next, place your product in the center of your surface, at least 6 inches in front of your upright surface. The 6 inch is really important. I'll show you why in a sec. Finally, place another prop in the opposite front corner. I typically choose front props that are a little shorter than my subject so that they don't distract from my subject. Here, we chose matches because they're an accessory you actually use with the product. I also like that they add texture, the wood, and they add a new shape, the linear line, to contrast the rounded shapes on the coconut and the candle. Something to note is that there's a gap between the candle and coconut, but no gap between the matches and candle. In fact, the matches overlap the candle a bit. Overlap between the foreground prop and the subject is visually appealing, so I usually try to do it a bit. And here's your final photo. Pretty great, right? I love this composition because the final photo looks so much better than you think it would, given the ridiculously simple composition. Another option is to use the same prop in back and in front like we did here with the coconuts. Here's another example using 2 sprigs of greenery. You can get greenery like this from a grocery store flower bouquet or even from your own backyard. And here's that front overlap again. Finally, one more example. I want to show you this one because we used the packaging from the product as the background prop. This is a great way to show your customer your packaging and to gain a prop with just one move. For flat lay photos, the C composition is your must-know composition. To create it, place your props in a rough C shape with your product slightly below or above the center of the C. The empty space is visually appealing, and it helps to draw the viewer's eye to your subject. Plus, it allows you to add text if you want to. Here's another example featuring 3 similar but different products from Lauren's loved fragrance line. This is a great way to show related products with just one photo. Now onto lighting. By far the easiest lighting setup is to place your surfaces against a window so that the light hits your scene from the right or left side. You can either move a table next to the window or you can roll your studio up to it. With the studio, you can also raise your scene up to window height or swivel the top so that the light hits from the other side. That way you can try both options. I love hard, dramatic shadows like these ones that Replica VIP member B. Joy Espana created with the new Treetop Replica shadow. But hard shadows aren't right for every type of photo. For this Lauren Conrad shoot, we wanted to keep everything light and bright, and that means softening the shadows. To soften shadows, place your surfaces right next to your window. The closer the light is, the softer the shadows. Next, place a white reflector opposite the window to bounce light onto the far side of your scene and soften the shadows even more. Here, we're using the all-white replica surface inserted into the studio's corner grooves. If you don't have all white, or you're using it in your scene, you can use white poster board or a tri-fold poster board. As long as it's white, you'll get the same effect. Now, we're almost ready to shoot. To make sure your photos look professional quality, the key is blurring the background. This creates depth and prevents your photo from looking flat. To create depth, we need to do two things. One, position the subject so that it's at least 6 inches in front of the upright surface. This lets your phone or camera separate it from the background. You probably already did this when you created the diagonal, but if you didn't, now's the time to move that object forward. Here's another example using a different Lauren product. See the difference when the product is right against the vertical surface? The camera can't separate the subject from the background, making the photo flat and less professional. The second thing we need to do is shoot with your phone's portrait mode. Portrait mode blurs the background similar to the effect you get with a professional camera. On an iPhone, it's called portrait mode. Androids also have a portrait mode equivalent, it just usually has a different name. If you can't find that mode on your phone, I would YouTube your phone make and model for the most up-to-date instruction. On an iPhone, start by selecting portrait mode within your phone's default camera app. Take a photo. It doesn't matter the default level of blur because we can change it after the photo is taken. That's a major benefit to using a phone. It's also okay if your app looks a bit different than this. The interface changes with every update, but the principles have been the same for years. With the photo selected, tap Edit. Then tap the F in the corner. This brings up a slider along the bottom. The default is f4.5, which replicates the level of blur you'd get with an f-stop of 4.5 on a professional camera. I personally really like this level of blur. Find your favorite level of blur by sliding the slider. Sliding left lowers the f-stop and increases the blur. Here's what f2.5 looks like. Sliding right increases the f-stop and decreases the blur. Here's what f11 looks like. If your subject looks a little puny, try flipping your phone. Normally, the camera angles downward like this. Flipping the phone places the lens in line with your subject and makes it look more majestic. Here's the difference a flip makes. Try it yourself and see what you think. Finally, get the most out of your shoot by swapping in different surfaces. This will change the mood and season of your photo with zero extra styling effort. See what I mean? If you don't recognize some of these surfaces, they were probably a past limited release that came and went. We usually do one limited release every month, and they're one of the most exciting things we do at Replica. Join our VIP group and sign up for texts so I can let you know when the next one's coming. I'll link to both below. And there you go. With this easy formula for photo success, it should be impossible not to take a good photo. And that's it. For more phone photo videos, give these ones a try. I go into even more depth and I introduce a different camera app that you may love. Until next time.